Hello everybody, today we're going to be reading a story called The Cool Bean. And we're going to be looking at the beginning, middle, and end of our stories. So we're going to read this and then we're going to talk about what events in our story took place. So let's get started. Watch out! Here come the cool beans. The cool beans. Oh yeah. Check out how they move. Look at the way they swagger. Notice their sunglasses? Yow! The cool beans are known all over the school, from house to house, across town, and beyond county lines. In the olden days, last year, we were all one big pot of beans. We were a mixed bag, but somehow it worked. Yep, those were the good old days. And then we stopped seeing each other as much. That's just how it is sometimes. You spend less time together, even though you're not totally sure why. I watched as the beans I knew so well, the beans from my own pod, became the cool beans. Oh, they were so cool. One of them could play the guitar, cool. One of them could draw the best superheroes, cool. One of them could jump higher than any bean I'd ever known. Cool. Me? Well, I mostly stayed the same. Sure, I made some small changes. I wore sunglasses. Too big. I slicked my hair back. Too slick. I strutted around. Ow! I swaggered. Oof. Is it going very well for him to be cool? I was still picked last for everything. My clothes never seemed to fit. I snorted when I laughed. I walked into stuff. I was an uncool bean for sure. I started thinking of myself as just a common bean with no special skills. I couldn't compete, so I didn't even try. I'd never be a cool bean. It seemed there was two types of beans in this world. There were the cool beans, and there were the beans like me. The days all blended together. I lived my life and things were just okay. I took tests, ate lunches, and mostly kept to myself. The cool beans continued to be cool. I mean, sure, I missed them a bit, but it's not like I was going to say anything. I felt like all of that coolness had gotten in the way of our friendship. And that's how it went. Until one day. So let's think about it. What happened in the beginning of our story so far? We met all of our characters. We met all four beans. We met the cool beans, the not cool bean. We learned what they do that is so cool. Okay. And so now I'm thinking we're going to start getting into the middle of our story. Let's see what happens. I was in the cafeteria. I dropped my lunch on the loafers. Oh no, not again. But then something sort of miraculous happened. Out of nowhere, one of the cool beans helped me clean it up. He didn't even say anything. He just gave me a nod, and that was it. Later, I was out on the playground. I tripped and scraped my knee and maybe cried a little bit, and everyone saw it. Another one of the cool beans came to my side, and without a word, he dusted me off. That afternoon, I was sitting in class. I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't notice, but our teacher had called on me. Everyone started to stare. I sat there in silence. Nobody said anything. And then everybody just laughed at me. And that's it. After today, I was officially a has-been. A has-been. But then one of the cool beans stood up and came over to me. Everybody watched. She leaned in close and whispered, "Hey, the teacher asked you to read from page 32, and she gave me a quick wink and went back to her seat." It was a small gesture, sure, but it was also everything. Okay, so now let's say we're in the middle of our story about we're seeing these beans being super nice to our uncool bean, which is super cool of them. I walked home with a goofy smile on my face. I smiled all the way through dinner. That day made all of the difference. It was a day that could have been really bad, if not for the kindness of a few cool beans. It gave me a shred of confidence. That shred of confidence has continued to grow. Somebody had my back, or a few somebodies. After that, I started hanging out with the cool beans again. How have you been? Get it? How have you been? Not all the time, but sometimes. At lunch, after school, and even on the weekends. Throughout all of this, I realized that it's not about how you look or any of that other silly stuff. It's about a wink or just a nod or a smile at the right moment. It's about dusting somebody off, helping them up again, and pointing them in the right direction. You need a hand? Yes, please. Now that's cool. Okay, so let's go back. In the beginning of our story, we had our beans, and they were all super, super good friends. And then they stopped being friends. And then there was the cool bean, the cool beans and the not so cool bean. Then in the middle of our story, we saw all of our characters helping the uncool bean. So that was super cool of them to help him out. And at the end of our story, we saw all of the beans become friends again, and they all were able to hang out again and see each other like they had in the beginning. Okay, so what you guys need to do in your own words, I want you to tell me what happens in the beginning, the middle, and the end. Make sure you use those words in your response. So you're going to say in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. All right, I'm excited to see what you guys have to say. Good luck.